Watch this before you buy Wickes Kitchen. This is the kitchen that was installed by Wickes about 10 months ago, and we've been struggling since that time to get things put right. We realised there's been a pandemic, and Wickes was on furlough, or many of the staff were on furlough for a good time, and so we just accepted that. But when everyone got back to work, we went back to Wickes and said, can you really sort these issues out, because we're really not happy with them. So the issues were at that time, all the handles here, apart from the cup handles, all the long handles, were all wonky. Actually, that cup handle there was wonky as well. And there are other issues, like this skirting. So here, you have one long bit, and right at the end, you have this little bit there tacked on. This kitchen cost £25,000, and you don't expect that sort of finish. There are other things as well. We have got a utility area which had a wooden draining a worktop, and it was cut out badly. There were black burn marks around the side. It wasn't sealed. It's still not properly sealed now, and water gets into the wood, so we're still struggling with that. We're trying to get them back to do that, but the issue is here. So eventually we managed to get the original fitter out, who came out and said, well, that is as good as it gets. You can't do any more than that. And we really felt, well, actually you can do more, but it might cost Wickes a bit more. You can get two of these lengths, and I know why they've done it, because that's one length and a tag-on bit, and you can use the rest of it on someone else's kitchen. But what you should do is get two long bits and join them in the middle, probably about where that is, to make it look good. Other elements that we talked about was, look at the join there in the worktop. Yeah, okay, there's not a lot we can really do about that. It's just badly done. You shouldn't really be able to see those signs. But the purpose of today's video is to talk about this unit here. When the original fitter came back and he said, well, this is as good as it gets, we weren't happy, so we asked for another fitter to come out, and Wickes did send someone out who told us he's called out to put right the things that other fitters weren't able to do. And he pointed out all these things. So if you look at the top here, you'll see that that slopes in because it's not fitted correctly. This bit here is too short, and he's joined it up to try and make it fit. And here it actually goes right in. But now look at the line of the units at the top. They're not level, they're not straight. The door doesn't close properly. The units are just not fitted properly. And look at the line. Actually, it looks worse in real life than it does on the video. Perhaps if I do that and zoom in, you can see that it's all out of alignment. The other thing with this unit is that the fridge didn't fit properly and didn't work for a while. But at the top of these units, there's a little cupboard area. And there's a board at the back that stops things from falling out once you put them in. But there wasn't one fitted in the area above the fridge. So we put a few things in the back, and they promptly fell down the back of the freezer, and they're still there because you can't get them out. So I have put a board in myself. Not, I'm not a kitchen fitter, but I managed to put some battens in, put a board in, and stop things falling around the back. So this fitter that came out and said this whole thing is wrong. It needs refitting completely, and we need a new unit there so that the back is actually properly fitted by a proper fitter. So we thought, great. So this fitter was going to go back to Wickes and say, we need more skirting board to do that correctly, and also bits like this here. That shouldn't be like that, sticking out 1/4 of an inch. Well, in that case, it's actually 1/2 an inch. They should be fitted better than that. So he went away with a list of new bits at the top to cut, new unit, new skirting, and he was going to redo these bits. So then we contacted Wickes after we hadn't heard anything. We also contacted this fitter who said, well, actually, Wickes say he was very guarded, but he got the impression that he's not doing much for Wickes anymore. We spoke to several people in Wickes each time. Yes, we'll sort it out. Yes, we'll sort it out. Eventually, we spoke to customer services again and said, we're going to send an original fitter out on the 7th of December. So we said, well, the original fitter said this is as good as it gets. It can't get any better. That's what he says. The other fitter is the one that we want, and he's the one that should come out and do it, because he seemed to know what he was talking about. So we're still not getting anywhere. At the moment, it's with Richard, and Richard has promised to get back. He promised to get back last week. He didn't. He's promised to get back this week. He's going to work on it this week. This is now Friday, so yes, he could get back to us today. But to be honest, they've let us down so often. It's beyond losing my temper now. It's really, it's very, very stressful. When you pay £25,000 for a kitchen, you expect some sort of customer service. But it certainly isn't the case with Wickes. Yes, I know there was a pandemic earlier in the year, and yes, I know there's lockdown now, but they're working. They're still producing, they're still out making kitchens, they're still fitting kitchens and selling them. It's not like the last lockdown. And even in the tier system, they're still operating and they're working. But because this is kitchens all done and paid for, they really don't seem to care. So the next time you go looking for kitchens, bear in mind that if you ever have a problem with bad fitting, don't ever expect Wickes to put it right for you.